Hey everybody, Adam here, and Vintage has returned. My apologies for the delay in notice for yesterday's stream. I just decided it wasn't really a great idea streaming on Christmas. One, I feel like queue times have been pretty miserable. Two, like that, you've all got stuff going on. So, did move yesterday's stream to today, and today we are back with some more Oath of Druids, specifically the new combo Oath list that started to show up. So, the big differences between this and the last Oath list we played is that it has slimmed down on being a control deck in favor of being a little more proactive and aggressive. So, in doing so, we obtain 4 Urza Sagas, Tinker, Bolus's Citadel, Time Vault, Manifold Key, and some slightly different Oath targets. This list is KTMR's challenge list from like last week, and KTMR was playing 1 Hullbreaker Horror, 1 Sphinx of the Steelwind. Some people were playing around with a Sphinx and a Grizzlebrand, some people were playing around with 2 Hullbreaker Horrors. This seems pretty reasonable. There are 2 Sarah's Emissaries in the sideboard as additional Oath targets. All of this seems pretty hot. So I figured this is kind of where I think I want to be for trying out this list. So everything else is pretty similar. You do have to slim some of your permission in the sideboard here, claims, a little, again, in order to accommodate Vault, Key, Tinker, Top, all of these other cards, we had to kind of slim down on what our main 60 looks like. And a lot of that meant cutting some of the interaction. So, there aren't any Force of Vigors main, right? We're on 3 Flusters, 1 Veil of Summer. Like, everything is slimmed back just a little bit. And I think that's okay. I think that you have more must-answer things in a list like this, so I think that's all alright. So, that's the list for today. Pretty straightforward. We're gonna oath up some big dumb idiots and hope our opponents can't beat them. So, let's get this show on the road. I hope everyone had a great holiday, and to all my friends in Canada, I hope you're having an excellent Boxing Day. We're already into round 1. And we get to play first. That seems rad. This doesn't do... Oh, this makes a turn 1 Narset. But then nothing else? What a mole. Can do better than that. Gross. Ship one of these. Ship a Forbidden Orchard. Done. Yeah, probe's fine. I mean, this is Oath on early week 5. Oh, opponent is Doomsday. Grab Trop. I'm gonna play my Lotus here because this allows me Misstep and Force. Opponent has already Used Gataxian Probe and cycled 2 Street Wraiths, now they're brainstorming. This feels like a point of weakness. Sure. So, I misstep, opponent missteps. Play Mox, play Orchard, Saga. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So, probably going to have to choose here between making a construct and leaving up this force. And I think we're going to leave up force. We'll make a construct in the end step if we have the opportunity. Oh, this is mystical for Doomsday. Mystical for console. Oracle's fine. Hard Force. Gosh. Yup. Cool. That'll do it. Alright. Things we want to include Force of Negation. Probably just Force of Negation. Cut Mystical. Decay doesn't really do anything. That's probably it. Yeah. Like, that's about what we have for the Doomsday matchup. Cool. So game plan this time is not Mull to 5. You won the die roll. Would you like to play first? Yes. I mean, yeah, this seems great. Drop, go. Okay. Cycle Street Wraith, yep. Draw with the druids. I'm gonna cast this Time Walk. Okay. Tinker? Opponent's gonna vamp here? Sure. Trying to figure out what opponent's plan is here. What are we vamping for? Because, like... Citadel? Saga. I was supposed to ancestor myself in response. Do I care about this probe? Probably not. Kind of, because the top of my library is trash. Cap. All right. Lotus. Fetch. Doomsday? 5 mana. Dig? Oh, they needed the Lotus, sure. They needed the Lotus for Delve Fuel. They already spewed a Mindbreak Trap, which is actually good for me. Their dazes are bad because I have mana open. So I'm debating between Vamp and Upkeep, or just go to my turn, draw this Underground Sea, then see what's beneath it. I kind of like that, honestly. I also just have this fetch land as land for turn, which I think might be better. So I could just use Vamp to shuffle away C, put Oath up top. I guess it's better to not have this in my deck. Yeah, it's better to not have this in my deck. So I'm just gonna draw this first. This one.
There he goes again, lost in the drink, bottles half empty.
I'm trying to figure out what opponent has to have in order to win. Has to be Gush. They can't Lotus. They delved away their Lotus to dig. Interesting. So if I can oath into Hullbreaker Horror, I probably just win the game? Wild. Because if I... Yeah, like, I can bully them really hard, actually. Just vamp into top and start topping through my library. So opponent has to kill this turn with 2 cards in hand and they've exiled their Lotus. I like my odds. They have a land drop. Huh. So what's... Sapphire is involved. One day is... There's a Force of Will, 2 Force of Wills, 3 Force of Wills. There's a Force of Will somewhere in this mess. Gosh, sure. Yep, Sapphire. Oh my god, this is great. All right. Cast top. Cast oath. Draw. Cast. Draw. Cast. Put this into play. This feels pretty great, actually. Fluster their brainstorm.
My head's hanging low and my shoes are worn. I've had the blues in my soul since the day I was born.
Cat.
The devil's been on my back now for quite some time. Yeah, it's just been me and him and a whispering wind and it's
Okay.
find a little piece of mine. I said, hey, Mr. Hey, going my way.
So them being choked in resources here is going to be pretty good for me, actually.
Hey, Mr. Hey, it's coming around and I can show you the ride out of this town. 'Cause
Sick.
it's a long way down to the bottom. It's a long way to get back on top. I said, hey, Mr. Hey, going my way. I can show you the ride out of this place.
Cat.
I've been looking for a sign, looking for a friend. Been looking at the same dead eyes in the mirror.
I will
watching
oath.
myself go
I have oath
down.
into horror, which is exactly what I wanted with my life.
I've been waiting on a prayer that never made it to God. It's like going through hell on a Sunday, but then going through hell's about all I got. I said, hey, Mr.
Think I'm going to
show you the ride out of this place.
just float here.
It's coming around and I can show you the ride out of this town. 'Cause it's a long
Use this to grab Manifold Key.
A long way to get back on top. I said, hey, Mr. Hey, you're going my way. I could show you the ride out of this place.
This one. All right. Okay. I like where my odds are at. So we just have to run this back now. Seems great. Let's do this again. Turn 1 Oath with force back? I don't hate it.
I've been waiting for that sunshine on my door. Will I ever be free? Oh, Lord, set me free.
Bonus points if I draw a blue card that's not Oko.
You're friends with the end.
Mox, yep. Fetch, sure.
Working on a better way. Will I ever be
Sure. Time walk.
Will I ever be free? Keeping on, even though it's oh so far away.
Ritual, yep.
Ever be free? Oh Lord, set me free.
Gonna force it.
You know you'll never be free.
Gonna get flustered.
It's with the enemy.
Dazed. Okay. No.
Times keep coming at the worst times. And it's hard enough just to keep my
What's the pile here?
And I pray to God that I'll make it through December. I'll be on my way now, walking this stretch alone.
The odds I get 2 turns here are pretty unlikely, so I don't think that playing this Oath is actually very good. I will only jam this Oath in the instance where I don't draw anything else to do. Oh my god. Gas. I can cast Scroll, but Scroll doesn't do anything. Yeah, I don't have anything to scroll for that means anything. Cast Pearl. Cast Forbidden Orchard. Or play Forbidden Orchard. Cast Oath of Druids.
Will I ever be free? Will I ever be free? Broken down, but I'm holding
So now,
for better.
I'm hoping they can't do it this turn. Ancestral, yep.
Oh Lord, set me free.
Odds are pretty low. Black Lotus, yes.
You're friends with the enemy.
Oracle. Sick. Well, that was close, but not quite. It's, yeah. Looking at this list and thinking about that matchup, I feel like Combo Oath definitely gives up a few points to try to play against other combo. Whereas normally I think that your combo matchup as Oath of Druids is like pretty reasonable. Because you just get to sit there and be the bully control deck forever, and then when it's safe, you just resolve Oath of Druids, stare at your opponent. In this particular build, I think that you're more in on doing the, like, Oath thing. So I think that you're kind of priced into... You're priced into doing... to just jamming more often. Because your backup plan is not play control deck, your backup plan is, like, be a Saga deck. Which is fine, but not as good against combo as just, like, sit there with a grip full of cards and wait. So, yeah, that's fair. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I do appreciate it. Plenty of ways you could choose to spend your Sunday/Boxing Day, but I'm grateful you chose to spend it with me. Schedule next week will look much like it normally does. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Tuesday and Thursday being 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the start, and then Saturday being probably 1 p.m. unless something comes up in the meantime and I have to adjust. In the event you are not following me on Twitter, I recommend doing so. I usually post the entire schedule for the week there, and all of any changes I might make to the schedule for the week are announced there as well. We won the die roll. This is turn 1 Tanker Force back. Escape. Island. Mana Crypt. Hello, opponent. Good morning. Or afternoon. Whatever it might be where you are. Opponent is 1-0, last seen on PO about a week ago. They're thinking really hard about this whole Mana Crypt thing. Tinker. Yep. Do you also possess second force effect and or mind break trap? That would be rough, not gonna lie to you. Is that a no? Island, Sapphire, sure. Scroll. For Hercule's Recall, sure. Draw this. Ancestrally. Pearl. Saga. Mystical. Get. Walk. Walk. Top. That seems fine. Drop. Both. Oko. Elk. Yes, I accept. What's your plan, opponent?
I've been seeing things for how they really been, and I can see it in your
Opal, sure.
Call yourself my friend, and you ain't holding out again. I've been hoping that you wouldn't be the one, but this black sheep on my back has been my sign of what's to come, and you ain't holding out again.
Force pitch.
The last time, and yes, this is the end. I should have known one day you wouldn't betray my trust. I'll tell you now, I
Always
never
good.
liked you all that much.
Yes, please.
When you find your
10 cards left in library.
I'll just say I told you so. You've always been and you will always be nothing more than a memory. And nothing at all to me.
Did I flipped key, so that's off the table.
I've been watching how your eyes move to the ground, and I hear you change your story every time that I'm around, and you ain't holding out again.
Make this.
You can tell me what you want, say what you will. When I'm done with you, I'm done with what you say.
Box.
You've been holding out again. This is the last time.
Box.
This is the end. I should have known one day you wouldn't betray my trust. I'll tell you now, I never liked you all that much. When you find yourself alone, I'll just say I told you so. You've always been,
Elk.
always been nothing more than a memory.
Could check land count. Just gonna fetch here and see. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Sick. Not there. That's good. There's a Forbidden Orchard. Most of my deck is bad. Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
If your friends ain't what you thought they once were, then they ain't your brothers.
Alright.
Brothers,
Brainstorm is gone too, I think. Yup.
friends ain't what you thought they once were, then they ain't your brothers. No, he ain't your brother.
Play Saga. Make a food. Go to combat.
When you find yourself alone, I'll just say I told you so. You
Deal.
always been and you will always be nothing more than a memory.
Like, is that a thing I care about at all? Probably not.
I'll just say I told you so. You've always been and you will always be nothing more than a memory. And nothing at all to me.
Sure. Like, I think the Mo thing here is basically irrelevant. I think them flipping their library is, like, actively good for me. What's going on? How are you, Joe? Welcome to the party.
We've seen the best and
Emerald. Oh, they also have a Sphinx now. That's cool.
yeah, we've been blessed and we've been cursed.
Sure.
Your mamas know that I love you, boy, but they won't tell you that I try
Goodbye, Hullbreaker Horror.
every day.
It was nice knowing you.
And it's been a test
It'll attack.
My hopes faded through the years, but I've been holding on to a prayer and I hope the Sunday soon. Got
I accept these terms.
shows me my efforts aren't in vain. And I've played the part and
I'm gonna play this.
I let them get the best of me, but it
Gonna give my opponent a thing.
for what it's worth, I never meant you any pain. Just so you know, I love you both.
I'm gonna make another food. Then pass. Ponder's fine. Like, that's not a card I'm particularly worried about at this moment. I'm kind of cool letting my opponent draw cards when they're... Yes, that is what I referenced in the going live announcement, Joe. Somebody mentioned this in one of the Discords I'm in the other day, and I was like, oh, that's kind of rad.
When I die, I'll keep the angels by your side. I've played the part and I've played the fool and I've been mean. And I let them get the best of me, but
Make an
it was all
idiot.
for you. For what it's worth, I never meant you any pain.
Okay.
Just so you know, I love you both just the same. I've played the part and I've played the fool and I've been
Make another idiot.
them get the best of me, but it was all for you. For what it's worth, I never
Hey, look, we failed to find.
just so you know, I love you both.
This food is a 3/3. Combat.
We got a new song that kind of is self-titled song, and I think
Huh.
It says it best.
I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Anything that you love, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Sure. Like, all of this feels fine. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also cool with opponent oathing again, if that's a thing they want to do with their life. Opponent has chosen not to oath again. I love it. Top is fine. Academy is fine. Spin top, sure. Like, I'm not sure what opponent is really trying to dig towards here. I think that we're just playing a game where I'm racing. Opponent draws a card with top. Black Lotus, yes. Oh, please. What are we doing? I mean, yeah. That's fine. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just gonna start by attacking with this food. Make a food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Death laser you? That's it. Well, that was the whole thing. Forces this. Like, all of this feels pretty fine. Decay feels like it doesn't really do much. I'm not sure if opponent is Tinker or PO. I think either way that we're like pretty okay in the matchup.
Sing along if you want, whatever.
What else do I not particularly want? Preordain feels kind of weak. Preordain feels kind of weak. Yeah. Just shift to this. I like that well enough.
Woke up this morning, she took all I had. My favorite fishing bowl and a 62 cat. Now she's gone. Oh, she's gone away.
I think the game plan versus their Sphinx is just to Herx them, because I think Herx is good against them anyway.
Spent all my money and charged the rest, and now she's gone. Oh, I'm left to pay.
This is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Keep.
My body wants back to its soul. I never knew I'd find the devil in you. Took it all, now you're coming back for more. You took it all, now you're coming back for more.
Scalding turn. Mox. Sure. Can I draw Mox? Mox would be rad.
Neighbors to share my news. Turns out he's sorry, but he shared her too. Now she's gone.
Okay.
He said I drove her away.
Now I have to make the choice. Do I think I want to try to turn one Tinker?
That's been plotted.
Kinda, to be honest. I can just keep jamming stuff at my opponent.
Deep down, she'll be gone. Oh, gone away. Can we meet in the middle? My
Sick.
body wants back to its soul. I never knew I'd find the
Seems correct.
You took it all, now you're coming back for more. You took it all, now you're coming back for more.
I want to cast Ponder, sure. They're now looking for Hurkyl's Recall. Soul Guide Lantern, that's fine. That's not a card that particularly matters. Opal. Cast Oath? Play Forbidden Orchard and pass? Like, this all feels great. Preordain's fine.
I got a feeling everything's gonna go downhill, and it's gonna go fast. So I start picturing the promises in someone else's greener grass. You see, the wind was blowing like 1,000 angels. They got something to say.
This one?
And then the chimes quit chiming and the wind went dying on me. It went dying on me.
Yeah?
gonna start raining now, and there ain't nothing much we can do.
Tutor?
So I'ma go my way, and you can go about yours. And
Get.
do whatever with whatever.
Where's my time walk? Did I flip my time walk? That would be unfortunate.
See, I've been
Oh, sure did.
demons walking, and I've listened to the spirit
Okay.
talk, and you ain't nothing like me, and I sure ain't nothing like you. Well, it gets cold
So what's the game plan now?
to take the long way home, the long way home, and there ain't
Tutor for Saga?
going down my
I mean,
but there
when you draw top, you play top, right?
gonna make me fold, and now trouble's coming, going, they're gone for now, but I feel I'm coming back around. I got a feeling everything just went downhill, and it sure went fast.
What's your plan, opponent?
I started picking up the promises. I went walking away from the past, and
Yup.
that demon sitting on my shoulder still talks to me now
Yup.
and then. But I'm doing
This feels like opponent is Tinker, not PO.
I blame you, and I'm doing my best to not give in. And
JK.
it's cold when you have to take the long way home, the long way home.
Counter.
And there ain't no string going down my back, but there ain't no hand that's gonna make me fold. It gets cold when you have to take the long way home,
Okay.
long way home.
Yes, please.
There ain't nobody gonna help you now. It's the simple things you learn from being alone. And now trouble's coming, going, they're gone for now.
Okay. This one.
I believe I can see the future.
So,
'Cause I repeat,
you want to crack it to draw? Like, I'm cool with this.
I think I used to have a purpose. Then again, that might have been a dream.
Mox.
I think I used to have a voice.
This one.
Now I never make a sound.
I have all these triggers. I don't know what to do about all of them. And
Don't want them to come around. Oh no. Every day is exactly the same. Every day.
make with Saga in their end step. That's fine. Lantern's fine. That doesn't mean anything to me. I full well intend to kill you with everything that I have in play. My time walk, yeah. Kind of expected. I mean, not that I have a way to get that back at all, but you did it. Congrats. Key and Time Vault are both in bin. Hullbreaker is still actually pretty good because it can bounce a lot of other things. Like, the reality here is that I can just start casting spells in my opponent's end step to put these tokens back in their hand to, like, guarantee the clock. And then, like, versus shops and stuff like that, like, Hullbreaker Horror is nuts. I put a Hullbreaker Horror into play against Doomsday, and, like, just made them pick up their moxes, which set them back with, like, sequencing, because they were trying to play through Fluster. And the thing is that by adding 1 to Storm Count, like, they knew it messed up their Fluster math. Yeah, like, Hullbreaker Horror is still very, very good. And, like, it's kind of absurd in, like, Oath Mirrors. Because you just, like, cast any random card and you're just, like, pick up your Oath target. Nice deck. Like, at any point here, my Hullbreaker Horror could pick up my Oath of Druids so that they don't get to Oath. That's, like, a very real thing. A lot of times I will let my opponent Oath of Druids if I think that the things they're oathing up are worse than my things. Like, if for some reason my opponent had set it up in such a fashion where they could Oath of Druids this turn, where they could trigger my Oath, I could activate Hullbreaker Horror by just, like, free Veil of Summer. Just pop that off. Make them pick up whatever they oathed. Like, for example, their Sphinx of the Steelwind. Like, this card is secretly doing a lot. It just doesn't feel like it's doing a lot. Opponent is trying very hard not to play into Hullbreaker Horror, which is making my deck actively better. Also, I have Flustered Veil. You have resolved that trigger. This one. Nah, it's good. Like, there's a lot of really nonsense things going on here right now. Like, I am very likely to pre-combat Oko next turn, just to make them pick up their token. Because now I have Lethal in play. I don't care about any of these cards. I will put my Ruby into play. I will play this land. I'll fetch. I hit a Trop. That's good. Blue. Green. Oko. This one. I'm playing with my food. That's it. Yeah, my opponent was very dead, because all I needed to do was start bouncing their stuff to then punch through for damage. And the beauty of it was that a lot of the stuff I had in hand, I could react to them, and then back tempo them. So it's like, counter your thing, pick up one of your blockers, Like, every card I cast is a blowout. Yeah, just like every spell I cast is a blowout. It is absolutely absurd. It's very, very powerful. Like, so Joe, I kind of mentioned it when I started the stream. There were versions of this list that were playing double Hullbreaker horror. Just because 2 horrors is, like, kind of obnoxious. I chose to play a list that is on 1 Hullbreaker horror, 1 Sphinx of the Steelwind. Because a good portion of the time, if you put in Sphinx of the Steelwind versus something like Bug, they just lose. Like, they literally have no way to remove it. They're just trying to race it at that point. And, like, them racing a 6/6 flying Vigilant for striking lifelinker is impossible. They just can't. And then, like, against a lot of the Plow decks, you can just Oath Up Hullbreaker Horror and, like, cast any random card in response to a Plow and just get it out of here. Like, that's the other thing. The other mode for Hullbreaker Horror that's really important is that it returns spells to their owner's hand. So you just, like, start casting random cards, and you're just like, okay, please pick up your swords to plow. Please plow back to hand. Hurkyl's Recall, back to hand. Like, the sick blowout is your opponent goes, Hurkyl's Recall you, and you go, respond, Veil of Summer, please put your Hurkyl's Recall back in hand. Nice. Yeah, like, the deck is gas. Joe, so I mentioned it when I played Oath last weekend. If you are not familiar with Vintage, the easiest way to explain the Oath of Druids deck is it is the Vintage equivalent of Omnitel. You are comfortable waiting a reasonable number of turns to execute your combo, and when you execute your combo, it's just like, here's this big dumb thing in play, I win. My hand is full of counterspells and interaction, and we're just gonna sit here and stare at each other until you finally lose enough life points or concede the game because you can't do anything. Sick. Round 3, win the die roll again. Let's go. Turn 1, Oath of Druids. I'm gonna keep this, and I'm just gonna jam this Oath on the stack. Yeah, it's all of the different things that Hullbreaker Horror does that make it so big. Cast Oath. The other secret is that, like, you don't need this card to win the game. You never need to cast Oath of Druids to win the game. Especially in this build, because you have Saga, because you have Oko. This doesn't have to do anything. I accept. Oh, my opponent's on Jeskai. Merchant Scroll. For Ancestral, sure. Does this resolve? Orchard. Orchard. Go. I'm gonna fluster this now because then opponent has to choose between whether or not they're ancestraling. Yeah, and it's thick. Agreed. Opponent now has to choose whether they're going to ancestral or targets. So opponent is just gonna pay through this fluster. That's fine. Okay. Gross. None of those are very good.
One dark day, we heard mission bells ring for the ones who still alive, rising to their feet with nothing more to eat, 'cause the wells ran dry. They prayed to God for rain.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, with skies gray, down came the water to fill up their graves. We'll be walking on a smooth.
Time walk. Yup. This is all looking very bad.
We'll be walking with every step towards a light, yeah.
Okay. So opponent is on like a Pyromancer Jeskai.
With all of our faith in the light.
That's why Oath was so problematic for them. Which makes more sense.
And when the lights come your side, the ones you know, don't let them bring you down.
Yup. The good news is the next Oath of Druids is going to be gas. Because the next Oath of Druids is going to be backed by... I mean, sure. I just don't care. That is not a thing that matters in the slightest. Blue, Brainstorm. Okay. Opponent played a land, so like I guess they're looking for like Lotus or something. No, opponent hadn't played a land yet. Attack for 3, yup. Okay.
Give me a long neck bottle of beer so
Oh. That one's not bad.
it's been a long hard day. I can hardly think. I got unwrapped gifts and burned out lights and
Gonna draw.
empty and I'm fighting with the wife, so give me a
If I get Hullbreaker here, we're just dead.
so I can drink. Give me just one good shot of that whiskey that you just bought. I just spent 2 hours in the Walmart parking lot. I got jacked from a spot about 18 times. I got the flu and hepatitis from standing.
Opponent got greedy.
A long neck bottle of beer.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we're dead.
I said, oh, it's Christmas time.
Alright. Warden Emissary. Sphinx is kind of bad. I want Force Negations. This is actually kind of good, but not incredible. So what's the game plan here? Citadel's pretty gas. This is like of question. Well, no, because they're probably boarding in Priest. I'm gonna cut a Mystical. Misstep is great. Floster's great. Scroll's kind of slow. I'm definitely the combo deck in this matchup. I want to race. What else are we doing? I can get rid of Hullbreaker Horror and just go down to Sarah's Emissaries as targets. I don't know that I'm in love with that notion, but it's reasonable. Veil's fine. I think the answer is just to cut Hullbreaker Horror, as weird as that seems. I think my game plan, I have enough other game plans that, like, we just do the thing. Huh. This is just turn 1 Oko. And a Manifold Key. I don't think that's great, though. I'm gonna keep this. I think I'm gonna ship the mist. Shipping Misstep? Probably shipping Mist. Gross. This Narset is basically uncastable. Like, it's gonna be good, but it's basically uncastable, so I'm gonna ship that. I'm just gonna play Saga here and pass. No? That one's pretty good, not gonna lie to you. I don't care about Arcanist even a little bit. So this is 1, 2, 3. I'm like 1 mana short of just killing my opponent. Of course it's Force of Will and not. I'm gonna grab the key and try to tinker. All I need to do is protect these 2 artifacts and I win. Yeah, it's like, the turn 1 Oko would have been okay, but not amazing. This, I think, is kind of absurd. Yeah, I don't care about Plow. That's fine. Fragmentize, sure. I need this Brainstorm if this doesn't work. Yep. Okay. No thanks. That one's better. Not gonna lie to you. This just resolving? No? Okay. That's unfortunate. Oh, okay. Opponent's fishing for Force of Will. Or Force of Negation. Force of Will. Okay. Force pitching Flusterstorm. This Time Vault is now actively worse. This Time Vault is actually actively bad now. If opponent slams a Dak Fade and steals this Time Vault, I am in deep trouble. What's funny is it feels like opponent is trying to dig for a Fragmentize to kill this Time Vault. I don't think that's what they want to be doing. This is so strange. That's a boat. Yup. There's a land. Did you also draw a Lotus Dak Fade? That's what would scare me right now. Land Lotus Dak. No, we're still fishing. I think opponent's been, like, digging too hard towards an immediate answer to this Time Vault. I'm gonna take 4. Okay. Fetch, yes. Red source, okay. Nope, sure not doing that. In a brainstorm. Is yup, sick. Yikes. Not in the best of shape, not gonna lie. Opponent's still digging for stuff. Yeah. Opponent. Stop. You have so many things you could be doing other than this. You should have just Dreadhorde Arcanist, attack, flash back to Preordain in your yard, use that to dig towards Dak Fade and to steal this Time Vault. Yeah, that's fine. These are not things I care about in the slightest. Yup. Dash Ragavan, sure. Take a bunch of damage, opponent flashes back, yeah, Preordain. Yup. Got it. Opponent exiled another Orchard, which I'm okay with. Nope. We died. Hooray. Alright, well that was unfortunate. I think the Jeskai matchup is way more winnable than that looked. Yeah, Joe, Ragavan is like the absolute most busted in this format. Where it's stealing Moxes and Lotus and like absolutely bananas broken cards. Like, Ragavan is absolutely absurd here. It feels good in other formats. It feels absolutely backbreaking in Vintage. Like, my Eternal Weekend write-up should finally be coming out within the next couple of days here. And, spoilers for that. I had an opponent who attacked me with a Ragavan and stole my Mana Crypt. And then stealing my Mana Crypt invalidated a mystical dispute that I had in hand for the rest of the game. It just meant that it didn't matter, because between my mana crypt and some amount of mana they already had in play, whether it be treasures or whatever, that card just did not matter. So yeah, Ragavan is exceptionally busted here. But for 1 and 2, again, I think the Jeskai matchup is way more winnable than that, even with the opponent having like Fragmentize, which is old tech. I think that there is a world that exists in which we wiggled through that differently. I think mulliganing is bad. And I think that we got really unlucky when we put a turn 1 Oath into play and opponent just randomly had a Fragmentize. That was pretty atrocious. So, yep. Womp womp. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, there we go. I would love to play first. There's so many cards that make this good, but this being here is also pretty atrocious, so I think I'm gonna mulligan. I mean, yeah, I guess. What am I shipping here? The Oko? Turn 1 Tropical Island, Mox, Oath of Druids. Force of Negation, pitching, Force of Will. You got it. I draw 1 piece of fast mana, this game is over. Missed Ego. Vault. Key. Go. We're gonna put opponent to it. They're looking for a way to break up Vault Key. It's a pretty good way to find it. This feels like Vamp for Hercules Recall. Sure. Lotus. Yup. Yup. Oh, they're gonna steal my stuff. That sucks. Yup. That's fine. Sure. Alright. But it ain't all about you, so when you get to where you're going, remember this, you made your bed and now you're laying at the bottom of the list. You never slowed it down. Oh, you got to slow it down. You're running on empty now. You've got to slow it down. Stop and take a look around. You got devils in the distance. Brainstorm, sure. If opponent is on Grixis Tinker, like it appears, they're just looking for their own time vault. Land, sure. I mean, yeah, that's fine. This definitely feels like opponent is looking for their own time vault. Flusterstorm, Saga, yeah. That's fine. Nope. Gross. Yup. So it feels like opponent hasn't found everything they're looking for yet, which is good. But what is it that they're looking for? Like, if they're digging for their own time vault, like, that's pretty clear. Yeah, that's fine.
Grab your wings and ride that wind down through the mountains. That smoky train covers ground, but on
Saga, sure.
so take on what you know.
Merchant Scroll, yes. For Ancestral. Yup. I mean, all of this is happening. I'm gonna fetch here for thinning reasons. I want to try to... Also, like, shuffling that Oko feels very good right now. Deck, come on. Opponent spinning top again. Mm-hmm. Yup. What do we got? Three mana.
What if all they
No.
lost was all they had?
Okay.
What if they were broken, just looking for a hand? If you could help or walk away, if that choice was up to you, what would you do? What if
Okay.
it were you? Where did all the good people go?
This one.
Where did all the good people go? I keep looking around. I don't quite feel
Seems great.
like I belong. So where did all the good people go?
This is kind of funny. Because opponent's game plan here is to DAC me. And to start making treasures, and I'm just gonna Veil of Summer.
What if all you gave was all you had?
That's fine.
What if you were humble, just holding out your hand? What if kindness prevailed, and you were someone's second chance, just giving back? That doesn't sound so bad. Where did all the good people go?
This one. They want to steal my time vault.
All the good people go. I keep looking around. I don't quite feel like I belong.
Sick.
Where
Oh, that was really funny. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Citadel, yep. So, this is opponent still fishing for their time vault. They've confirmed they are Grixis Tinker. Oh, they're Breach. Got it. We're Tinker with the Breach package, one way or the other. It's functionally irrelevant. The best card I could draw right now is exactly Tinker to get this Time Vault out of play. Or Abrupt Decay. Either one is acceptable. I want this gone. Decay is probably better because they can't interact with it. Do you just have it? This is Vamp, sure. You draw it with Top. Or, oh, you just cast it with Citadel. Let's see how clever opponent is, because if opponent... Bolt me. Okay. Is this just bolt me 6 times? I mean, if that's your game plan, like, cool. Opponent's game plan might just be bolt me repetitively, I'm not gonna lie to you. Which is funny. They've changed their mind. I'm really confused. Scroll, yup. What are you doing? Okay. So opponent can't target me with Brain Freeze this turn, so they have to try to bolt me to death. Seven. 4. Opponent keeps casting spells. This is like bolt, bolt, bolt. Yeah, like, their plan is to bolt me, because they can't Brain Freeze me because of the Veil of Summer. I'm kind of upset now that I don't have a way to force them to draw a card. Because if I hit the Ancestral here, they just die. Which is the funniest thing on the face of the earth. Bolt. Replay a Lotus. Crack for red, red, red. Bolt, bolt, bolt. Like, this is actually kind of funny. So, yep, they're on the bolts plan. This is where the The Soul Guide Lanterns are incredible because, like, opponent is the Breach deck. I'm also interested in my Hercules Recall. Cool. Cutting Time Bolts. Citadel still feels good. Force of Negation feels more questionable. I guess I can just cut the whole Tinker package. That's not crazy. Hercules Recall, Force of Negations. Cuts. Mystical. Force of Negation very, very good here because of opponent being on the Breach package. Veil of Summer kind of absurd. I guess I'm just gonna cut my key here because I don't think the key is that good. And then I need to cut one more card. Scroll I think is great because Hercules Recall is great. And because Force of Negation is great. So we're on Oath Saga's win conditions. I'm cutting Vault Key because of their Dak Fadens. It's not worth giving them the opportunity to do these things. And then I need one more cut. Can just shave Probe. I don't think Probe is particularly necessary. I like this. Yep. Gross. This is fine. This is where we shift to being like Control Oath and just like kind of hang out. We have a grind plan with Urza Saga. Eventually we can just like put an Oath of Druids into play. We have 3 pieces of interaction. I guess like 2 because we have to pitch, but it's like totally fine. So this is just Misty Rainforest Pass. Opponent is still resolving their mulligan. And I think that's kind of the beauty of this particular build of Oath, is that like, when your combos are good, you can just kind of jam stuff on the stack. And when your combo stuff is bad, you can just like, turn into a control deck. We found things. Mm-hmm. That's a Mox, sure. Cast this. Hullbreaker. I'm willing to fight over this. I think the Hullbreaker's too good for them. Preordain's fine. They now have to find another land drop in order to make constructs. They did. It's another Saga. That's pretty unfortunate. Get a trop. Make a thing.
Tend to laugh when it's worth it.
Okay.
I look for something bad when it's perfect.
What do I actually want here? I kind of want the lantern in play.
She's afraid, but she loves me anyway. And that's alright with me. It's alright.
I will make my attack.
Yeah, that's alright with me.
Opponent makes their thing. I'm priced into fetching here because of this. They could just end up with a needle. If they end up with a needle and they might fetch land, like, I'm not exactly where I want to be.
Well, I got friends, but not too many. And I could count 'em all on my two hands. And since they know me, they can say it's who you trust. And there's not too
I think I was supposed to board these in now that I'm thinking about it. This naming instant just kind of kills them. All of their win conditions mean that they can't beat it. Wild. I think I'm fine regardless, so I think I'm just gonna grab another trop. So this is where we stare at each other with constructs in play. They get Lotus. Okay. Scroll is fine. For Ancestral? I mean, I would prefer you didn't, if that's okay. Them getting Lotus here is an active detriment to them? Okay. Do they also have Fluster? They also have Fluster. This is unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Rip. Them having Misstep and Fluster is actually kind of a blowout, because they just... Yeah, yikes. If they navigate this correctly, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, yep. Say, if they navigate this correctly, I just can't ever pay through it. Misstep plus Fluster is actually kind of absurd here. So they're gonna draw 3 cards. Yup, that's fine. Mana Crypt, yes. Okay. I will trade these off for the purposes of saving my own life total. Draws... Ooh, Demonic Tutor, okay. What does Tutor do for us? Tutor doesn't do anything at the moment. Well, that's very good. This deck can't feasibly play Cage because they're on a Breach plan and a Tinker plan. So that feels like we're okay there.
You got people dying all over the place, and the government's lying right to your face, and people ain't teaching what people need to know. But don't make a sound, don't raise your voice, because you might get shot if you make the wrong choice. There's a change coming.
Make another Mox, sure. Cast Demonic Tutor, okay.
Sky turns black with the bloodshot moonset, and a change is a coming. Forget about yesterday, and when that change is coming, you better conform.
Tinker, yup.
Grave said, oh, 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 oh.
I could crack here to try to hit Fluster, but I don't think it's worth it. Land, sure.
Folks sure ain't acting like they used to. You got people buying little kids for sleighs and all the young.
I hope you know that's like pretty easy money on blocking this.
I forgot what that means, I care. But when the ends come, it don't start to crack. You're the one to blame, and now it's time to die. There's a change coming, coming for me and you. There's a change coming. The sky turns black with the bloodshot moonset. A change
Yes, please.
is a coming. Forget about yesterday. And when that change
Sphinx.
is coming, you better conform and start digging your grave. Said, oh, 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 oh.
Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? Yeah. Sure. You got it.
So cold, and your body has left your soul. Just remember what you've been told. There's a change coming for me and you. There's a change coming. The sky turns black with the bloodshot moonset.
So we're not triggering Oath again. That much I know.
And when that change starts coming, you better conform and start digging your grave. Said, oh,
And if we're not triggering Oath again, I think it's pretty reasonable to crack Lantern. We'll have to see. Because, like, what beats me here is opponent casting Hercule's Recall. And the thing is, I think that that's just okay.
Rolling in the wind, a crew of railmen singing. This is all we know.
Yeah. That's fine.
A ship the size of cities, rolling in the wind, a crew of railmen singing. This is all we know.
Yep. That's fine. Okay. At some point, you have to put an Underworld Breach on the stack. You know that, right? Good plan. Wow, okay. In that regard, I think I want both of these to be Sarah's Emissary. I don't think opponent can win the game if I have Sarah's Emissaries in play. So I think that's pretty reasonable. So I know I don't want horror. I didn't even consciously think about that, but opponent literally cannot win the game if I have Sarah's Emissary in play. Because they can't cast Bolt, they can't Bolt me, they can't Hercules me to make me pick stuff up, and they can't Brain Freeze me. Because all of those cards are instants. So this feels correct. What's our other cut here? I guess we just shave Sphinx. Like, this is also very good, but this isn't just an instant I win button. This is just an I win button. They can't get it out of play. They can't do anything about it. They'd have to bolt it 3 times, and it, like, it has protection from bolt once it hits play. So, this feels much better. I'm gonna submit. I just have to let them not win the game. This is Force Plus. There's an Oath of Druids here eventually. I like this. I'm gonna keep. So, like, I'm gonna cast this Tutor on 1, I think. That's fine. That doesn't matter at all.
Take the storm, head on to the wind, and sway our glasses one more time with you, my friend.
Because I want this Tutor to get me Forbidden Orchard. I guess, actually... I can just do that next turn.
I got plenty about me that you don't know.
Like, if opponent has Shattering Spree, this is bad, but I think in any other world, this is pretty reasonable. That's fine.
Everybody's got something they're hiding too. So when you point that finger of judgment at me, you got
Yeah.
one more pointing right back
Tutor's
at
fine.
you. And now I ain't saying that I ain't done wrong. And if you could forgive me for the seeds I've sown, I've made mistakes and I've been praying.
JK just drew Orchard. Good at this game.
And I've been praying for you until the day I'm gone. I said, I'm going home. You do best to forget my name and start working on your own. I ain't trying to be mean or do you no wrong. But see, we both got something better waiting for us, and we could both
My math never worked out anyway.
I'm going home.
I'm glad that I just drew Orchard there, because my math definitely didn't work out the way I thought it did. Okay.
You got plenty
What do you got, opponent?
that you don't show. And I could really care less about the things that you think I shouldn't know. You see, I got more pressing matters on my list. And to waste my time with the way
That's fine.
you go, the curse coming from your
That's not
head.
killing me.
So tell you now, I ain't saying that I ain't done wrong. And if you could forgive me for the seeds I've sown,
Ponder also fine.
and I've been praying for them all. And I've been praying for you until the day I'm gone. I said,
If this Oath trigger resolves, I win the game. That's fine.
you do best to forget my name and start working on your own. I ain't trying to be mean or do you no wrong. But see, we both got something better waiting for us.
I mean, yeah.
So both go ahead and move on. I'm going home. I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going home.
Impure Tutor is fine. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the line that opponent's looking for here. Because as it sits presently, I have their combo checked. And they also need to find a way to beat this Oath of Druids.
As the grain took to shadows light, while the wandering whispers tell,
That's fine.
calling for rage yet too fast to sleep, under castaway stones they fell. So tend to our maiden wall.
So that force, the way that I sequenced that, that was me respecting dig through time. That's fine. Yeah, you get to churn through your deck here a little bit. Oh. You're at 7. That one doesn't matter either. Other than the fact that it clears stuff. Riordan, sure. Okay. They have Flusterstorm in hand with no mana. Hullbreaker I don't care about. Yup. Sure. Yes. Okay. 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 Yes. Instant? Tutor? Okay. Yes.
As the body becomes frail, the spirit becomes stronger. Because you have something to look forward to.
Dagfade, sure. Okay. Like, this isn't BM or anything, but I kind of want to type to my opponent to figure out what they're playing towards. Okay. They've decided whatever they were playing towards also wasn't happening. So, that's cool, I guess. Alright, 2 and 2. Let's go into one more and wrap this up. Yeah, I have no idea what opponent was playing towards. Like, once Emissary resolves, I don't know how they get it out of play ever. Like, they can't bounce it through any means that I'm aware of. They can't bolt me, they can't brain freeze me. Like, that's... Maybe they had a Tendrils, I guess? Maybe their opponent was trying to Tendrils me out, but like, that seems difficult. They had kind of hemorrhaged a lot of resources. And like the second Sarah's Emissary just names creature. And just make sure that like my stuff stays in play. So, yeah, wild. Alright, well. Very strange. Again, thank you everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I see some familiar faces here watching today, so I appreciate you all coming out to hang out. I really do. Current plans for what gets streamed next week yet TBD. Gotta figure out, thinking about one more round of Cube before that comes down, if that's still up. I gotta figure out when that goes down, because I'm not sure. Beyond that, unclear. I'll be honest that, like, I'm not in love with the place Legacy's in right now. It doesn't feel great. For any of you who don't follow content I produce off of my own platforms. I did put up today. A league went live on the Team Swish YouTube channel where I played some Turbo Depths. That felt pretty okay, but it feels to me like, honestly, right now, one of the best things you can be doing in Legacy is playing combo, and that's not really a Legacy that I love. Tell you what, everybody, keep taking a minute. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to step away for just a second. I will see you all in just a moment.
Let them crown big headlights creeping on me. Keep your eyes on the road, try not to wrap your truck around the tree. Oh, got that feeling like I'm losing control. Oh, like I'm gambling and losing it all. Didn't come from a long line of being corrupt. Just when that bottle comes around, you know, can't keep myself from tipping it up. Whoa, got that feeling like I'm losing control. Whoa, like I'm gambling and losing it all. Thank your creator for it not any worse. Don't wanna put myself or anybody else in a hearse. Wearing guilt and shame as a crown. Not wanting to show your face round your hometown.
Sorry about that, everybody. I had left a bottle of sparkling water in the freezer and accidentally made a shrapnel bomb in my freezer. So that was fun. But we're back now. Yikes. Lesson learned. You can put a lot of things in the freezer to make them cold quickly. Don't do it with glass bottles of sparkling water. Throw that out there. So there's everybody's there's everyone's lesson for today. Do not put glass bottles of sparkling water in your freezer unless you want glass shards all over your freezer. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You see, the pandemic raises new concerns about
But what I was saying before I left,
health crisis even worse.
I'm not in love with Legacy when the best thing you can be doing at any given moment is just jamming hyper-aggressive, degenerate combo decks. I like it when the format's a little more interactive than that. And unfortunately, the present state of things, that's kind of not where we're at. But, yeah. So, I have been jamming a little combo, but we'll see. Maybe some Legacy next week, maybe not. Definitely want to play a little more Vintage queues as long as that's still going. Probably going to play a little more Vintage because I actually kind of love where Vintage is at right now. I think the format does... I think the format needs some changes. Kind of talked about that a little bit before, but I think that overall it's more minor than what's going on in Legacy. So I'm kind of okay with this being a little out of whack, whereas Legacy feels a lot out of whack. But yeah, so currently 2-2, playing Combo Oath. My thoughts right now are, I like the notion of the deck. I like the idea that we have this, like, kind of pair of things going on that, like, don't necessarily, like, playing Saga to make constructs in your Oath of Druids deck is a little strange. It does feel slightly disjointed, because, like, you want to be able to control creature counts pretty aggressively. And this deck doesn't necessarily have any removal, so to speak, other than a single copy of Abrupt Decay. But everything it's doing feels very powerful, and it still feels like it can maintain control of games reasonably well. So, I do like that well enough. I feel like the Jeskai matchup is much better than it looked when I was playing through it. I feel like Fragmentize is old tag. That was not something I was expecting. An opponent got to bully me with Fragmentize Dreadhorde Arcanist a little bit. But I also think that there are plenty of ways to fight through that. I just didn't see any of those. So, that's kind of unfortunate. But, and then round 1 versus Tinker, that matchup, like, that was very close. I think that matchup is very winnable. And the 1-2 shows that it was a little tighter than it's not a clean sweep, right? Whereas Jeskai bullied me really hard, and I think I got a little unlucky for that to happen. The Tinker matchup was pretty tight the whole way along. And I think a lot of times I can just kind of let them do stuff. Much like we saw with Critics' Tinker, can just kind of let them do stuff. As long as we shut off, like, the big haymakers, it's probably fine. Like, even their Tinkers don't feel that broken. It's strange to me that every time opponent tinkered, they tinkered for Citadel, as opposed to, like, trying to find a Sphinx or something. Because I think a Sphinx would have been very, very good in that matchup. An opponent just never presented that as something they could do. Now, it would be strange if they were... I think in this metagame, like, if you are playing the card Tinker, Sphinx of the Steel Wind should be somewhere in your 75. It's just so good against so many things. I think this is the deck where it's, like, kind of at its worst, and I think it's still good. Sphinx is still good in this combo Oath Shell, but I think that there are a lot better things that you could be doing. And the reason that Sphinx is only good is because when you trigger Oath, you want something, like, just kind of back-breaking. And Sphinx is very, very good, but not back-breaking in a lot of matchups. Whereas if we had, like, a Sarah's Emissary or something in the main, like, or another Hullbreaker Horror, or an Archon of Cruelty, or I saw another player who was playing a list like this, but their Sphinx was or their Hullbreaker Horror was a Grizzlebrand. I think a Grizzlebrand's super reasonable. Yeah, not sure. It's very strange all of a sudden that we're 6-minute waits in the queue when they were firing pretty quickly before. Everybody take off for late lunch, I suppose, on Boxing Day? Unclear. So, I do see some new names out there. If you are just discovering this channel for the first time, welcome. My name is Adam. I am a member of Team Swish from Grand Rapids, Michigan. On this channel I play primarily Legacy and Vintage, although can be convinced into other things. I have been known previously for playing a little pauper every once in a great while. I have a big love for formats like Canadian Highlander, and there is talk of some occasional Commander potentially. Right now, a lot of the energy I have for Commander is being put into content on my team's YouTube channel, which you can find down in my Twitch bio, and that is for a series we're calling Battlefields and Brews. So this is a four-person spell table commander series. We've just posted episode 0, our trial run, as of 2 days ago. And it will be myself, teammate Jay Mead, teammate Jacob Kinsvogel, and a fourth rotating friend from the community, all sitting down and playing a little commander. So that is out. Episode 0 of that is out now, and we're looking at shooting episode 1, the first kind of fully fleshed out, we've worked out all the kinks kind of episode, in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. 8 minutes, good grief. But, again, if you are just discovering the channel and you like what you see, or you have some feedback, please reach out to me. I've only been streaming for a few months, and I'm still kind of figuring out everything. Not an incredibly social animal, so would appreciate any feedback. You can reach out to me via my Twitter below. You can always reach out through Twitch Whisper. I don't get a ton of that, but like I pay attention to it well enough. Then you can also, my YouTube channel, which is down below in my Twitch bio, you can go there, and I post pretty much every stream there, edited ever so slightly just to make it a little more digestible. And you can always leave comments there as well. Always looking for feedback. What did I do alright? Are there any weird audio, video issues? What would you like to see? Because I'm down for a whole lot of stuff. I used to say that if Counterspell was legal in the format, I'd be willing to play it. Counterspell is legal in Modern right now, and I'm still not really hyped on Modern. But who knows? There's definitely potential that Modern could be a thing that shows up on this channel in the future. But primarily right now, I play Eternal formats. Looking at after the holiday season, trying to set up some webcam vintage content on the channel. I was doing a lot of that through 2020 and early 2021 and kind of fell in love with old school and middle school that way. So I would absolutely love to start showing that off a little bit on the channel. So we'll see how that looks. And then, yeah, I think those are the big ones. There's also some potential for some non-Magic content. I've been thinking, like, there's some video games I would like to play, and right now a lot of my time not spent at work or with my wife is spent here with all of you, so I could share some of the video games I'm interested in with you. Furthermore, you can see right here, somewhere back this way, there we go, right here is a case full of Gunpla, or Gundam, plastic Gundam models. I currently have 7 unbuilt kits that I need to get to at some point. So it's definitely possible that at some point in the future, there's just a pretty chill stream where I hang out with all of you, you fire off questions, we can all kind of interact a little bit while I build a kit. So, if you are not a Magic enthusiast human, somehow you have found my content, please stick around, because there's definitely some non-Magic related content in the works. Not just video games and models either, but I've been working out details for some D&D content with some folks. I have a teammate who would like to teach me how to play the Pokemon TCG. I have a teammate who wants to teach me how to play Legends of Runeterra. So all of that is potential stuff you will potentially see in the future as well. I would love to play first. This is a turn 1 Oath with a Forbidden Orchard. Okay. Green, green. 1, 2. I feel like this is silly to turn back. Cast Lotus. Oh, it just resolves. Okay.
Truth on the corner now. Look at them all dressed in white. Said the angels must have came into town last night.
Sure.
Hey man, come on down. They got your fix on a corner downtown. Look at them with their heavy hearts broke down at the bottom, not knowing where to start singing. Hey, 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 hey.
Yes, please.
Come on down. Hey.
Wow. That was a supremely interesting series of events. There are now 14 cards left in my library. After the first Oath trigger. What a wild ride we've come to. Soul Ring's fine.
I am a poor, wayfaring stranger while traveling through
Yeah, whatever.
this world of woe. Yet there's no sickness, no toil,
You got it.
no danger
Promise you have no way to get that back.
in that bright world
Sure.
to which I go. I'm going there to see my father. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
What a wild ride.
No dark clouds will gather around me. I know my way is rough and steep, yet golden fields lie just before me, where souls redeemed shall ever sleep.
I'm gonna draw.
Going there
I think I want this decay eventually.
to see my father. I'm going there, no more to roam.
Yes,
I'm only
please.
going
5 cards left in library.
Jordan.
Sick.
I'm only going over home. I want to wear crown of glory
Sure.
when I get home to that good land. I want to shout down Satan's story
You got it.
in concert with the blood-washed band.
Fine.
I'm going there, see my father. He said he'd meet me.
I don't know what the plan is here, opponent.
I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going.
I really don't know what the plan is. Not gonna lie.
I'm going there. See my father. He said he'd meet
Sure.
me when I come home.
Yup.
Only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I'm only going
This one.
overjoyed. I'm only going
This one.
over home. I'm only going over home.
I mean, I accept. Yep, you got it. Seems great. Yep. I'm willing to let you flip a bunch of cards. Oh, they also have a Sphinx. Sure. Okay. They have a Karn. Okay, there's Ruby. Sure. So what exactly are you doing, opponent? I mean, sure.
Got it right, 'cause I feel I've got it wrong. All these people walking around don't know what they've done.
I would like to put this back in your hand, please.
And you seem to know what you think we should be. But I've tried for you for so long. If only you could see. And if you
I mean, I think I'm just going to attack.
could you give it here to me? I've been paying for this loneliness when
Reasonable.
loneliness is free. Singing, bring me to the gallows.
Opponent is spinning Sensei's Divining Top. That feels fine.
I'm still paying for all my mistakes. But one day,
I will allow you to draw a card with Sensei's Divining Top.
who I'm trying to be.
Okay. You want to draw 2 cards with Sensei's Divining Top. One of them being Sensei's Divining Top, the other being something else entirely. Sure. Yep. Not a thing I'm particularly worried about, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay.
You could tell me,
They have chosen not to trigger Oath of Druids.
but I see
I think that's a very reasonable decision that they have made.
leave me with a question.
Top's fine.
You can leave me with a bang.
Yup.
You could take control and leave me.
Like, what are your outs, opponent? Hercules Recall?
You can take away my son, but you can't take away his
Yup.
name. Singing, bring me to the gallows.
You haven't shown me anything I need to be worried about yet. Yes.
Bring me to my knees. I'm still paying for all my mistakes. But one day, girl, you'll see who I'm
I mean,
trying to be.
At present, it would appear to me that you have died. Do you disagree with that statement? Well, I like that. This is irrelevant. I lost the flip. Oh no. Urza Saga? Okay.
I said, bring me to the gallows, or just bring me to my knees. I'm still paying for all my mistakes, but one day, girl, you'll see who I'm trying to be. Who I'm trying to be. Said I'm trying to be.
Target spell I don't control.
More than you and me. I'm trying to be.
Pull 'em in with your glossy stare. Addicted eyes preaching life just ain't fair. So to the woods, counting on the ones you know. So to the woods, no angels go.
Okay.
The feeding head to a family. Your kids get crying, begging daddy, please come home.
And I don't have any way to stop this now. I was supposed to return their ancestral. Sick. Okay. That was unfortunate. Once again, I think Sarah's Emissary here is better than basically either of my other Oath targets. Opponent doesn't appear to be on Breach. They appear to just be on, like, Grixis. I didn't see anything there that leads me to believe they are Breach. I think they are just Grixis Tinker. As such, I want Hercule's Recall. I'm going to cut Mystical. They're not Breach. What else am I not worried about? Maybe I want Scroll. Maybe I still just cut Vault. Cut Vault, cut Key, cut Citadel, cut Tinker. So I don't have this in my deck either. And keep this. And then a pair of Claims. Yeah, I think I like Claim. I think I like Claim better than I like Mystical. So I think this is a deck that's much more likely to be on Cage. Yeah, I was 100% supposed to bounce opponent's Ancestral to their hand and just didn't. Because I could have just flustered their Force of Negation. Yeah, this is... Sure. This is just like a Saga control hand. Opponent mulls to 6. Yep. Sure. Yeah, this Urza Saga is what we're doing. Ruby's fine. Soul Ring is fine. Sure. Okay. Is this Demonic Tutor for Pithing Needle? I was like, that feels okay. Like I'm just fine with that. I don't think the opponent realizes that's not particularly meaningful. Oh, Lotus, sure. That I like a little less. Opponent has force back, sure. Yikes. Big yikes. Okay. Sure? Nice stack. This should have got a needle out of my sideboard. That's so bad. I saw the card in their graveyard and they oathed. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Yup. That's fine. Yup. You got it. Yes, please. Aim instant. Okay. Wow. Wow. That is the most unfortunate. There are 2 cards left in my library. Two cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. This is so bad. So, we're gonna die because of the worst RNG on the planet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What, lattice? Yeah. I'm now punished for not playing this mock jet because I could just hard force if they ancestral me. That's atrocious. Wow. Wow. So, first Oath trigger leaves us 2 cards left in library. The odds of that are so astronomically low. Yikes. Well, alright. There's a 2 and 3. I do not think that is in any way, shape, or form representative of what this deck is capable of. Yikes. Big yikes. But, alright everyone, that'll be it for me for the day. I'll be back on Tuesday. Keep an eye out on social media, I'll kind of announce the schedule there. If you like what you saw today, including us oathing for the first time and leaving 2 cards in our library, go ahead and hit the follow button, because there's more shenanigans like this all the time. Sometimes in my favor. Sometimes like that. But, that's gonna be it for today. Everyone out there, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you are a friend from Canada, enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day. And I will see you all again Tuesday. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one.